At least it was a fast lesson about which end you grab a live lobster.
Oh, I'd laugh a little louder if you hadn't caused me a perfectly good hairdo horsing around on that boat.
Sandra, I plead innocence. That wave hit the boat when my back was turned. Isn't that right, Robbie?
Oh, sure, Paul. That was a wave and not your three-legged feet that cost our hostess a Dunkin'
No way.
Yeah?
Alton bar tonight.
Rob, you want one?
Thanks, Betty.
Now, there you go.
Thank you.
I'll take one of these back to Sandra.
Oh, let me. Maybe I can help her with her hair.
Okay.
Your cousin Sandra is playing the sly little old matchmaker, isn't she? Having Betty and you as house guests at the same time.
Just a very happy coincidence.
Sandy, I've got your drink out here.
Thanks.
Oh, that's nice. I'm admiring your Oriental figurine. Is it new?
Yes. Paul always finds something rare for me in that antique shop of his whenever he comes for a visit. It's called Goddess of Sleep. Oh, I hope it works, because nothing I've been taking does.
You having trouble with Harry still?
Mm-hmm.
No chance of a reconciliation?
No. I think this time divorce is the only solution.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
Paul even drove up to the cabin this morning to try and patch things up, and Harry just about threw him off the place. Oh, boy. What am I going to do about this mop?
Oh, honey, don't use the hot rollers. It'll take too long. Use your blow dryer. Okay. I'll help you set it later, okay?
Would you?
Yeah.
Thanks, Betty.
Hurry, they're waiting for you.
All right. Blow dryer works.
Hi. I think I'll take a quick shower and freshen up a bit myself. How's Sandra doing?
Well, she'll be joining us shortly.
Good.
And then the wind came up, and we turned downwind.
Betty? Woo-hoo. Paul? Paul?
We were all getting something.
He went out there.
Betty, is she... God, she's dead.
Get an ambulance.
see somebody who could use a couple hours sleep.
When did your plane get in?
An hour ago. They gave me your message along with one from California Meridian Insurance. Sandra Lassiter carried a big policy. They want to report. I know, Betty. I know you and Sandra go back a long way.
It's so hard to believe she's gone.
I just got a sketchy report. She was shot by a burglar who then shot Paul Nugent.
It's about all anybody has. Paul heard something. He went into her room. She was fighting with a man in a red ski mask. And Paul went after him and the man shot him.
How's Paul?
Oh, not so bad. He was just grazed along his rib cage. He's insisting on being released from the hospital. I said I'd go down and pick him up around 10.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead? Deputies will fill me in.
I'm glad you're here.
Oh, we got an excellent print, Sheriff.
Oh, good, Abrams. Take it to the lab, huh?
Yes, sir.
Barnaby, you called out on this case?
Well, the company wanted me to make a routine investigation and report.
Well, there's nothing routine around here. Burglary with a house full of guests milling around. An estranged husband with a story that he's been driving around all night. Doesn't know where.
Harry Lassiter can't account for his whereabouts?
I just got back from talking with him up at his cabin. He says he was out hanging one on, to use his words. We'll see about that.
You mind if I ask him a few questions?
Not at all. Keep in touch, Buck.
Right.
Don't you think you should have spent at least one day in the hospital?
I hate hospital. Anyway, they're not doing any more for me than the bandage I'm wearing. What about the burglar? Have the police come up with any leads yet?
No, not yet. Are you sure you should be walking around like this?
Well, yeah, my side's a little stiff, but the doctor says moving around is the best thing I can do for it.
All right.
Oh,
Let me get this for you. There you go. Easy.
Thanks. Oh. How's Harry taking it all?
I don't know. Up until I left the house, he was nowhere to be found. Paul. Poor Harry. First, the loss of their 2 children in that awful auto accident, and now Sandra.
I know. Harry wasn't at his cabin?
No, the sheriff had a deputy out there since last night waiting for him, but he never showed up.
Well, that's funny. I was with him for about an hour yesterday morning. He was deep inside an article he was writing. He swore he wasn't going to leave his cabin until he met that magazine deadline.
Well, maybe he finished it. Or maybe Harry changed his mind.
I think we met in passing earlier this year at the Park Gun Club, Mr. Jones. Betty was with you.
Yes, I think you were qualifying for the pistol team. I became a fan of yours from reading your column in the Sports Quarterly.
A new fan I can always use.
You understand, Mr. Lassiter, that although I turned in my reports to the insurance company, they could wind up in any court record.
In other words, watch what I say to you. I'm 3 steps ahead, Mr. Jones. The sheriff did more than hint. My wife had wealth, and a divorce might be leaving me with financial problems.
Did the sheriff say anything about the burglary, that it was a very clumsy job?
Making it appear the burglar was more interested in murder than robbery. I don't buy it. My wife had no enemies. That includes me. I'll miss her. Almost as much as I miss our kids. It was after their death 5 years ago that things started to get sour between us. So anything about my shoe interest you, Jones?
I think you'll find a duplicate of this tread in the flower garden outside of the bedroom at the beach house.
I used to live there, remember?
Sheriff Coyle says you're having some trouble accounting for your time last night.
Maybe I feel I don't have to account for my time. But it so happens I finished my article early, about 6, and went for a drive.
You remember where you drove?
I'd been drinking all day. While I was writing, I was half stoned, somewhere up the coast.
The critical time would be 8:30. That's when your wife was shot.
I was sleeping it off on a beach by then. I can't prove it, but the sheriff will have to live with it.
You happen to recall which beach?
Yeah, of course. It was just above Dunes Point.
Harry, listen, I'm not due to return home for a few more days, and maybe I should get a room at a hotel.
Don't be silly, Paul. Stay as long as you want.
No, I'll get it.
Oh, hi, I'm Barnaby Jones. Is Mr. Lassiter home?
Oh, yes, he's right inside.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Nugent.
Oh, how are your ribs?
No, much better, thanks.
Good.
Back so soon, Mr. Jones?
I came by to give you a chance to correct your story, that you were sleeping on the beach above Dune Point, or were you actually wearing scuba gear at the time?
I forgot to tie it. All right, I'm a lousy liar. I was with a girl last night. Stupid of me lying. I was ashamed, I guess, hearing Sandra was dead.
Can this girl establish your exact whereabouts at 8:30?
I was at the Blue Surf Motel. Signed in about 7:30, using the name Smith.
What's the girl's name and where does she live?
I only know her first name, Shelley. I never saw her before. Never expected to see her again.
I am wondering if you are aware, Mr. Lassiter, that, first of all, with your lying and then your general vagueness, you're creating a difficulty for yourself.
Difficulty? Oh, the insurance. I keep forgetting that your company will save $1 million if I'm guilty of my wife's murder.
Come on, Harry. I'm sure no one's accusing you of anything.
Where did you meet the girl?
I don't know. I was pretty wiped out from boozing. I remember hitting some of the South Beach bars and then meeting her in one. Tall, blonde, good build.
Do you remember the name of the bar?
One of those places where the beach kids hang out, the Beads and Sandal Bunch. Find her, Jones. She'll clear this up. Hello. Good morning, Mr. Jones.
My associate and I checked out that motel. There's nothing much there in your favor except you did sign in at 7:30. However, after that, you weren't seen or heard of much.
Didn't anybody see a girl with me?
Nope. We're beginning to check out the bars along South Beach now. I was hoping that your head would be clear. You might be able to give us some help.
Yeah, I wish. A guitarist. I remember throwing him some money.
How about a place called the Hangout? That do anything to you?
The Hangout? I'm not sure.
They got a guitarist. The bartender's out now. We're going to check back.
The bartender might know this, Shelley. I vaguely recall her kidding somebody behind the bar.
Thanks a lot.
There you go.
what I meant to say before is that on a busy night, you stop looking at faces.
What about a girl named Shelley? Did you ever hear her name mentioned in here?
No.
Tall, blonde, good figure?
Yeah, you just described half my customers.
How about him? Very drunk. Can't seem to remember much except giving a guitar player some money.
Yeah, the tipper, yeah, Charlie got a 10. Charlie's the guy on the strings out there. And he left another 10 when he paid his bill. Yeah, him I noticed.
You remember something about the girl kidding with the bartender?
Hey, wait a minute, I got it now. The girl with this guy, now I did think she was calling me over, but she was joking with this Alma something or other who was sitting right where you are now and bending my ear, right?
So Alma would know the girl we're looking for.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know where Alma lives, though. She's a painter. She paints those god-awful, two-headed, 16-eyed things. Hang out. Yeah. You said your name was Jones?
Betty. Go.
Just a minute, I'm coming.
Barnaby, I just got a call from Sheriff Coyle. He wondered if you might be able to meet him up at the Park Gun Club.
Call the sheriff back and tell him I'll meet him there within the hour.
Righto.
And Alma may be a good lead if she sells any pictures. I want you to check the art places on Beach Road here and see if they know her.
Right.
No, not many of the members use this reloading equipment. I would say that outside of the pistol teams who like to measure their own powder, very few of the shooters reload their own ammo.
Well, this bullet was used in the murder weapon, a reload. Had the boys come up from the lab this morning, and they say that this reload equipment was used to make the cartridges in the gun that killed Sandra Lassiter.
Well, I know that Harry Lassiter does his own reloading. He's written articles about it. But what bothers me is that you would hang your hat on this kind of evidence. Whoever it was that killed Sandra could have stolen or borrowed a box of reloads from anybody on the firing line.
Barnaby, I'm hanging my hat on Harry Lassiter's footprints in the garden, on a man who has red ski masks, a man who profits greatly from his wife's death, a man who can't account for his time, and now a man who reloads his own ammunition.
Harry Lassiter is not a stupid man. If he wanted to kill his wife, you think he'd have been this crude?
Barnaby, have you ever seen him drunk? I've had him in the tank on 2 occasions.
You're saying that he got drunk and planned to kill his wife on the spur of the moment?
What better way to account for his clumsiness?
Well, now that would do Picasso justice.
You just made my day.
Well, you sure would be making mine if you told me your name was Alma.
Bingo.
Oh, good. Oh.
What is this, a new kind of hobby? You're seeing how many almas you can find along the beach?
I tell you, it took me hours to find that little place you work, you know, and then when I found that, they told me you'd be here. But actually, I'm looking for a friend of yours named Shelley.
You a PD?
No, nothing like that. I work for a private... Sorry. I work for a private investigating agency, part-time, and I'm working my way through law school.
What kind of trouble is she in?
Well, none we know of. Our agency would just like to talk to her.
What if she doesn't want to talk to you?
I tell you what. Why don't you leave it up to Shelley? Give her this. Tell her that one phone call to us is worth $20. Now, that's for openers. Now, I'm sure that our client would come up with a nice big check for an interview, okay? Tell her that. You missed a spot right there.
Well, friend or foe, it's up for you to decide. But it's worth 20 bucks and a lot more for an interview. So, whatever.
Hey, thanks, Alma.
Yeah, sure.
Hi.
Hi.
We have a mutual friend, Alma.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, a very recent friendship. She gave you a business card. I'm Barnaby Jones.
I was supposed to call you.
As a matter of fact, I saw Alma pass the card to you, and being a descendant of Sherlock Holmes, I naturally deduced a few deductions.
Alma said there'd be some money in talking to you.
Oh, I wouldn't quibble about the price if you can help us.
Non-quibblers are my kind of people. Come on in, Mr. Jones. Well, I never did get any merit badges for neatness.
Oh, no, it's cozy. Now, Shelley, I'll tell you what this is all about. Do you remember Harry Lassiter?
Who?
Well, you wouldn't know him by that name. Smith. At least you signed the motel register that way. No, wait a minute. No hassles here. All we're talking about is a divorce case.
Oh. So that's the scene, huh?
And all we want from you is an informal statement. Now, you were with this Smith at the Blue Surf Motel on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I guess you'd find out about it anyway.
Mm-hmm. And between the hours of 7 and, let's say, 9 o'clock or so, he was never out of your sight?
Look, we gotta get into details.
Nice work. Lovely, lovely. Oh, my point in question. Was he ever out of your sight between those hours?
Right. Hey, what's all this information worth?
It's priceless.
She was carrying your business card, Barnaby. The reason we called you down.
Maybe this is the Shelley that Lassiter says he was with. How did she die in?
We found a beach mat and a handbag up on the roof. She'd been sunbathing. And then she came down to her apartment for something. Or so it would appear.
You sound like you think otherwise.
This proves to be the girl Lassiter was with. Well, my patience with him has just about run out.
Ed, why would Lassiter pick this girl who would give the lie to his story? He'd pick a fictitious name and description and let it go at that.
Which he might be having second thoughts about. Well, we checked his whereabouts today. At home. No callers, no visitors, no proof he was there. It's par for Mr. Lassiter. Hey, that is not cheap costume jewelry.
No, it surely isn't.
Then explain it in your own words.
I can't explain it. Whoever burglarized the house knew this girl, Shelley, and gave her the ring.
Mr. Lassiter, in view of no credible explanation by you of what is proving to be far too many coincidences, I'm placing you under arrest. John Cutton, you will be charged with suspected murder.
Jones, will you call my lawyer?
Yes, of course.
Harry? Barnaby?
Harry's just been arrested for the murder of Sandra.
I don't
believe that.
There's a case against him.
Well, so far it's purely circumstantial, but if it ever comes to trial, I think that your testimony might help him.
My testimony?
Well, you were closest to the intruder. You struggled with him. Did you notice any smell of alcohol or liquor on him?
Mr. Jones, the only thing I remember from that night is a blur of confusion.
Well, you didn't mention it in your statement to the sheriff. However, the manager of the motel said that he noticed a strong smell of liquor. Well, I gotta get on with some things.
Do you need me, Barnaby?
I'm gonna see Jedediah and then talk to some people. I'll check you later.
You know, when I first came here, this home struck me as being close to perfect. A few miles from the beach, the mountains nearby, marvelous.
Sandra loved it, too. I'm not sure Harry did, though.
Oh, Harry was a fool. I mean, not to have considered he was making Sandra unhappy. He's a man who had everything and appreciated nothing.
And now with this arrest, which I hope and pray is a mistake, it would be night marriage if it isn't.
Betty, I've never been good talking around a subject. I'm dreading the day I have to leave here, and I'm sure you know why.
Everything has been pleasant up until...
I love you, Betty. I had to say it. Maybe they're considered cornball words today, but I had to let you know exactly how I feel.
They're not cornball words. It's just that... Wow, Mr. Nugent, you really move fast.
Am I the wrong man saying the words?
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. It's just that... How do I say it? Say it. I'm fond of you, Paul. But can we just wait and see?
Okay. Let's see.
About 2 weeks. Shelley came from Santa Barbara about the first of the month and said something about trying to get a modeling gig.
That apartment she was living in was sort of, well, let's say she wasn't doing too well financially.
You can say that again. Hey, I don't know if it's karma or what, but some people just don't get the breaks. Last winter, her old man up and split with a beat-up old car that she'd saved all year to buy. Can you believe it?
When you gave her my card and asked her to call me, would you say that she needed money?
I can do more than say it. She borrowed money for her groceries that morning from me.
She was really down and out, huh?
Oh, and hurting. Mr. Jones, I got to put a couple hours in at the art gallery tonight. And I don't really think there's much more I can tell you about Shelley.
One last question, Elma. When you gave her my card, did you have the impression that she was going to call me?
For $20? That's a week's rent in that rat trap she was living in. Thanks for dinner.
Doesn't make sense, Jedediah. A girl has a valuable ring like that in her possession for several days and goes around borrowing money for food.
Well, if you're thinking somebody planted the ring in Shelley's apartment to frame Harry Lassiter, what about a motive?
Well, I've been talking with Sandra's attorney. Her estate's going to amount to over $4 million. Outside of a bequest of $50,000 to an uncle in Canada, Harry gets the whole thing. Unless, of course, somebody proves that he murdered her.
Right. His share would go back into the estate to be divided among Sandra's blood relatives.
I'm trying to get the attorney to tell me how many there are. Of course, one is the uncle in Canada. He can't be located. He's supposed to be on some kind of a business trip.
Wait a minute, you think that uncle might be in L.A.?
That's a possibility. And then there is the cousin, Paul Nugent. The way it looks to me, behind that boyish smile, you'll find one of the coolest gamblers this side of Las Vegas.
Wow. Now that would be heavy.
would have been a matter of timing. Paul knocks things about to make it look like a struggle and shoots Sandra and himself.
What about fingerprints? Police didn't find any gloves.
Could have used anything, a sheet, a blanket to hold the gun.
All right, okay. So he goes up to Harry's cabin one day during the week when Harry isn't there, takes a pair of shoes, some reload ammunition.
One thing I can't explain, and that's the missing jewelry. Betty said that she saw Sandra take the ring off and put it in this box, which was right there. So we know it was in the room along with the other missing pieces.
Well, would he hide it somewhere in the room, knowing that police would be processing a room after a killing like that?
Well, one thing is sure, he wouldn't plan on taking it to the hospital with him.
Barnaby Jones' office? Yeah, he's right here. Hold on. Attorney for the Lassiter case.
Leonard, thank you for getting back to me so soon.
That's okay. According to a genealogical study Sandra's father commissioned when he was alive, Sandra's only blood relatives were limited to that uncle in Canada I told you about and Paul Nugent.
The only two people in Sandra's will were her husband and the uncle.
Yes, except for a token bequest to Paul Nugent. A few personal things. But since we've talked, Paul is suddenly very much in the picture inheritance-wise.
How's that?
Since Sandra's death, I've been trying unsuccessfully to contact that uncle at his farm in Winnipeg. About 15 minutes ago, I got word back that his body was found at the bottom of a well.
Is that so? The uncle's dead.
What? Anything else, Barnaby?
No, thank you, Leonard. We'll call you if we need you.
When? How'd it happen?
Let's find our
Gentlemen, I have made a discovery. I enjoy being spoiled. Pressed duck at Monique's this evening, and tomorrow champagne brunch. What's the matter?
Outside of a few minor bequests, the only two people mentioned in Sandra's will were her husband Harry and an uncle in Canada.
Oh, yes, that would be her Uncle Reese. She was very fond of him.
Uncle Reese is dead.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Not as sorry as I am to tell you that the only thing standing between Paul Nugent and some several $1 million is Harry Lassiter's conviction for murder.
I hope you're wrong.
Look, if Paul is behind all this, he certainly does not have a lock in Harry Lassiter being convicted. There's no direct evidence.
A fact that Paul must be well aware of. Now, if he is dealing out these cards, and I say if, he must have a joker palm somewhere. So now, it's like waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Expecting rain?
I'm sorry, no, I just can't seem to get Sandra off my mind. And now Harry.
And I can tell you the trial won't be easy on any of us. Oh, Betty, I thought I could pull it off, but no, I'm not sure. Not if the prosecution hammers away at that one point.
I don't understand, Paul.
It came up yesterday. Barnaby speaking about my testimony being in Harry's favor. You see, I never mentioned it before, that the burglar might have been drinking. I never mentioned it because I didn't think it was important. And now with Harry being involved.
The man had been drinking?
Yes. Oh, Betty, I'm afraid I won't make a good defense witness. I mean, the fact that I personally like Harry. I mean, you know that. And some of the things I'll be forced to admit if they ask me. I don't know.
Well, all you can do is tell the truth, Paul.
You know, Betty, there's one other thing. Well, it's something I've been wrestling with since that night. Something that I haven't told anyone because it could almost be an accusation.
Against Harry?
At the time I was shot, I mean, everything was very painful for a moment, and I remember there was a ringing in my ears from the sound of the gun. And then my eyes were closed, and I heard a voice like a muttered curse, somebody saying, "Damn fool."
Are you saying the voice sounded like Harry's?
Oh, no, no, no. I couldn't swear it was Harry's voice. At the same time, I couldn't swear it wasn't.
Well, Barnaby, Paul had only seconds to stash his jewelry before Betty and the others came running in.
Well, Sandra was back in the dressing area. He'd have had all the time he needed to hide the jewels.
Barnaby?
Yes, Betty.
The other shoe just dropped. Seems the man behind the ski mask not only had been drinking, he also muttered a few words.
Let me take a not-so-wild guess. He sounded like Harry?
If pressed, he feels he must admit such was the case. Barnaby, he seems to be in an expansive mood, very confident. Suppose I draw him out, get him to talk about the night Sandra was killed.
No. If we're right about Paul, he's not somebody to play games with. Why don't you draw out to lunch? Give us a couple more hours here.
Right.
That jewel case goes on the table.
Yeah. You know, Barnaby, Paul's been in the house alone. The jewels could be anywhere.
No, because when Paul shot himself, he had no idea how serious the wound would be. So he had arranged to leave the jewelry in some place for possibly several weeks. Where's the figurine?
I don't know. Where is it?
When you took the stuff off the table, wasn't there an oriental figurine with it?
No. No, there was just this and these two things.
On the night that Sandra was murdered, there was an oriental figurine in this room on that table.
I'm sure that it was in Betty's statement to Sheriff Coyle. I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, Coyle. You did see this dinner ring being placed in the jewelry box the night Mrs. Lassiter was killed. Betty, it was definitely there. I happened to be standing at the table admiring an oriental antique Mr. Nugent had given Sandra when she removed the ring from her finger and placed it into the box.
A gift from Paul to Sandra. Sort of a Trojan horse.
Look, if it's anything like those child-proof bottles, why don't you just break it open?
Ah, ye of little faith.
Jackpot.
We're so foolish when we're young. I mean, it passes by so quickly. And all the "I wish I had" has become almost like a theme song for failure. That old expression, take the bull by the horns, well, it's the way to go.
And you feel now that you've taken the bull by the horns?
And making decisions right for me, yes. When I was packing for my trip here, I told myself, there are no more tomorrows, only the todays. You've got to gamble. Gamble, life against life. What you are against what you could be.
Good grief, Paul, you make living sound grim.
My life is grim. Like poor Sandra. You're blow-drying your hair one minute, the next minute you're dead. Planes crash. Boat. Something wrong? Besides the old killjoy here?
No. No, I just have to get back.
It's okay. Dinner tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got a ton of bookkeeping. You know, the IRS, always on our trail.
You're no good at playing poker, Betty. No good at being devious. masking what you're thinking.
Okay, thank you. Barnaby, they left just a few minutes ago. The waitress thinks that they're headed down toward the marina.
Oh, you're hurting me.
I made a mistake, didn't I?
I don't know what you're talking about, Paul.
What was it, Betty? What was my mistake, Betty?
Talking about Sandra blow-drying her hair. How would you have known that unless you were in her bedroom while she was in her dressing room? You weren't in your room hearing a scuffle, as you told the sheriff.
Such a small thing. Choice, Betty.
You're not going to be able to explain my body being found here.
They'll have to prove it wasn't an accident. I'll settle for that.
Oh, what? Why all the killings? It can't be for money. You're a successful businessman.
Successful? Hanging on by my fingertips year after year? Coming here as Sandra's house guest to sip at the good life for a week? Maybe 2? And then do you know what I go back to? A pretense that is slowly burying me. I know you don't understand. But I love you, Betty. Now it doesn't matter.
Nugent! Get back! Sheriff knows all about that hollow antique. You got no place to go. Come on, Nugent. You don't want to hurt anybody else. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Robert Nugent? We learned that Paul Nugent flew into Winnipeg and rented a car. So much for how Sandra's uncle wound up in the well.
Huh. I wonder what he had in mind for me if I'd been found not guilty at a trial.
Maybe you'll sleep better never knowing.
Marie, can you hear me? Marie, it's Terry.
Sister,
I'm sorry.
She never will.
Will she die?
No. Her vital signs are stable.
Well, I don't understand. You said her tests look promising. You told the reporters.
The final results are in. The brain damage is irreversible. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your sister will never come out of this coma.
How long can she live in this kind of limbo?
On life support system? Indefinitely.
Oh, God, that's terrible. Why don't you let her go?
They only teach us to prolong life, sister.
All they've taught you to do is to prolong death.
Hospital policy has taken those decisions out of our hands.
If the plug were pulled on that machine, she would die, right?
Most likely.
Then it's God's will that she die.
I cannot speak for God. I can only speak for man.
Oh, dear God. I believe in the sanctity of life. Please forgive me for wanting to make decisions for you. This is all my fault. I know that now. If I could only make it up to you. If I could only make...
Sister,
It was all my fault.
Fourth floor west.
Barnaby, your favorite nun is here to see you.
Sister Agnes Elizabeth? You make the donation?
Oh, yes, I... Barnaby?
Sister Agnes, how are you?
I'm fine.
I haven't seen you since last month's bingo game. You're looking wonderful.
Oh, it's an amazing fact of life, Barnaby. But you get younger every time I see you.
Well, I'm sure it's your prayers that are doing it. Sit down and tell us what brings you here. What can we do for you?
Well, I'll get right to the point. Barnaby, there's a most marvelous woman doing extraordinary work with troubled young girls. Perhaps you've heard of Runaway House.
Say no more, sister. Just tell us how much you need.
Oh, Barnaby, I'm not here for money. You must have read about the tragedy involving Marie Holcomb. It's been in all the papers.
Oh, yes, the girl in Malibu. Some lifeguards found her at the base of a cliff.
Yes, I think I heard something on the radio this morning. She didn't make it.
Because someone intentionally stopped the life support machine. The hospital says it was one of the women in my order.
Good grief, they're not accusing a nun of murder, are they?
Sister Terry was Marie Holcomb's natural sister. And unfortunately, she was very vocal to Dr. Jackson about what she considers the inhumanity of keeping the girl alive with no hope of recovery.
Have they got anything else?
There's also a nurse who insists Sister Terry was the last person in the room before Marie died. I, of course, don't believe for 1 minute that she did it. Barnaby, I want you to prove that.
This is Barnaby Jones, an old friend.
How do you do?
How do you do? I'm sorry about your sister.
Thank you.
Barnaby's a private investigator. I've asked him to try and find out what really happened to Marie.
Please don't bother. Whoever stopped those machines did her a kindness.
I'd rather not be drawn into a philosophical debate on that point. Nor do I want to see one of my nuns end up in the hoosegow.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I already told you I didn't touch those machines.
Terry, you like working with your young runaways, don't you?
Well, you know I do.
Then don't be obstinate.
You see, if the district attorney elects to prosecute, then the juvenile authorities may suspend you and relieve you of your duties at Runaway House.
And I'm very much afraid the church would have to go along, my dear.
All right. Where do we start?
Why don't we start with the accident that put Marie in the hospital in the first place? Although I understand that the police can't decide whether it was an accident or whether somebody pushed her.
You mean murder?
Somebody did turn off that machine. And I'm wondering whether it wasn't somebody who was finishing up what they started in fear that Marie would recover and start pointing the finger.
Oh, no.
Did you know any of her friends?
We went our separate ways. No.
Where did she work?
She said she was going to be a model. She said she was going to work for Mr. Fairmont or Fairfax or...
Well, that's some place to start. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll have my secretary get right on it.
Thank you, Barnaby.
Something I can do for you? I'm the manager here.
Oh, my name is Rawson. You wouldn't happen to have a vacancy?
Well, I'll have a deluxe in a couple of days after it's cleaned. All I got right now is one bedroom in the back.
Well, I'm sure that'd do. You know, the first time I saw this courtyard from the street out there, it reminded me of the days when I was stationed in Hawaii. Now, if you just had a couple of Hawaiian hula dancers.
No, 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 not that scarf. Have you no eye for color? I clearly said the blue, the blue. Come here.
Freddie Fairfield? My name is Barnaby Jones.
Please, I have no time for buyers before the show.
Well, I'm not a buyer. I'm a private detective.
Well, I have no time for them. Tacky profession. Tacky, tacky. All right, dear.
I understand that Marie Holcomb used to work for you.
Marie Holcomb? Oh, yes. I understand she moved on to that great fashion show in the sky. Poor dear.
Was she supposed to work in this show?
Oh, no. Marie left my employ over a year ago. I had no idea what happened to her until I read about it in the papers. It's all too distressing. I'm sorry I can't be of more help. Excuse me, please.
Barnaby! Barnaby Jones, Rita Carbone.
How do you do?
She says she lived with Marie Holcomb a while back.
When's the last time you saw Marie?
A month ago. I ran into her coming out of a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Look, we're rehearsing for a show.
This is important, Miss Carbone. We're trying to get a line on everybody who saw Marie during the last few days of her life.
Why don't you ask her fiancé? He could tell you a lot more than me.
What do you mean, she was going to be married?
Well, she was dropping a lot of love, cherish, and obey hints while the guy was getting the car out of the parking lot.
Remember who the guy was?
Hendricks, I think she said. Yeah, that's it, Dave Hendricks.
And where might I find him?
All Marie said was that he worked for some large computer company, I think. But
Rita, you're keeping everybody waiting.
Excuse me.
Well, what do you think?
Come on, come on. Get me off.
I think you ought to stay and have lunch with the lady. Might be able to dig something up.
Well, okay, but I'm a little short of cash.
The buffet is free. And you are overdrawn at the bank and also in the petty cash drawer. If you find anything vital, give me a call.
Mr. Jones, sorry to keep you waiting. It's been a little hectic around here getting moved into this new office and everything. How are you?
Fine. And the way those sales are jumping off the top of the graph there, I would say that you ought to get ready for another move into the president's office.
Well, anyway, what are you in the market for? We've got it all here. Anything from hand calculators to satellite communications instruments, You name it, we've got it. And if we don't have it, I'll get it for you.
Well, no, I'm just an investigator looking into the death of Marie Holcomb.
Oh, well, what does that have to do with me?
Well, let me understand this. You were going to marry her.
Marry Marie?
That's what she told a friend of hers.
Well, how could I, Mr. Jones? You see, I'm already married. Very happily so.
Any idea why she would have lied about a thing like this?
No. Except for a while my wife and I were separated when I was running around with Marie. She might have taken too much for granted.
Could she have gotten the impression that you were going to get a divorce?
No, that subject was never mentioned. You see, my boss, Mr. Jones, is a very conservative man. Divorce for me would be unthinkable.
Very pretty lady. Smooth sailing to you both.
It already is. As a matter of fact, these last 6 weeks have been the happiest of our marriage.
6 weeks? You were seen in Beverly Hills with Marie a month ago.
Hey, I might have been seen with her, but it wasn't a date or anything. I bumped into her. I bought her a drink for old time's sake. That's all. Nothing to it.
Well, are you sure that there was nothing to it as far as she was concerned?
Jones, look, Marie and I had a thing for a while, but when it was over, it was over. Now, she might have... Well, what's the difference now anyway?
None. Unless it turns out that she posed a threat to your future. In which case, there are people who might feel that you had a motive for doing something foolish.
I didn't kill Marie. That nun did.
That's what a lot of people think. Well, goodbye, Mr. Hendricks. I'll be seeing you.
Find Mr. T over there.
Hey, Freddie.
Suzanne. I got a trick you haven't met yet. Half sake, half champagne. She'll knock you out. Valley Hills Motor Lodge. She'll be right over. Don't forget, honey, you're booked for tonight, so don't make a romance out of it. Hey, you slumming or just looking in to see how your charm school graduates are doing?
Don't be facetious. We've got trouble. You ever hear of Barnaby Jones?
Sounds like an off-brand whiskey.
He's a private detective digging into Marie Holcomb's death.
Does she know anything about our business arrangement?
I don't think so.
Well, then relax. Don't buy trouble.
How can I? I run a legitimate business. If it gets out I'm also supplying you with girls, that kind of publicity would ruin me.
Stay cool, man. If Jones gets too close, I'll take care of him. Count on it.
You better. Because you'll find yourself in the gutter with me if Jones ever connects on the fact that our nun's sister was one of your best hookers.
Far enough away, nobody will find us, and here is a very good spot.
Freddie catches us when he gets back, he'll throw a fit.
What are you worried about? Beautiful girl like you? Get a modeling job anywhere, huh?
Not if Freddie Fairfield bum raps you around town. He's done it before.
You mean like Marie, for instance? Is that why she quit modeling after she left Fairfield's stable?
You know, I didn't expect this was love at first sight. But it can be the start of something really groovy. If you'll just stop asking me about Marie.
What is it? What's the matter? Why does talking about her make you so uptight? Mom's way.
Look, I better get back. Showtime's in 10 minutes.
Look. Did you know that Marie had a sister?
Yeah, the nun. Saint and a sinner. Boy, somebody could write a book.
What do you mean a sinner? What do you mean, she had her share of trouble?
Honest, JR, Freddie'd come down real hard on me if he knew I was blabbing about his models, past or present.
Look. Now, Marie's sister's doing a lot of good for runaway kids. Huh? And I know you would not feel very good about yourself if you let all that come to a grinding halt.
If you say I helped you in any way...
Scout's honor. I promise.
Try Suzanne Montaigne. She moved in with Marie after me.
All right. Where do I find Suzanne Montaigne?
Here. Call this number. If you have the price, she'll find you.
Got your message. You say you got a hot lead?
Yeah, I didn't mean to quite put it that way, but Marie's ex-roommate, after she moved out on Rita, I called and made an appointment for 2:30.
Oh, it's 2:30 now. Hadn't we better go?
No, gonna meet her here.
Here? Jedediah, I don't think you're aware that your expense account is bursting at the seams.
Yeah, well, I meant to talk to you about that, Barnaby. This is gonna cost about $100.
$100?
Yeah, it's what they call the going rate.
Going rate for what?
Come on, Barnaby, you know what I'm talking about.
Hi, fellas. I'm Suzanne.
How do you do?
Suzanne?
Well, which one is, Mr. Jones?
He is. But I am. We both are.
Oh, come on now. It would be easier if one of you was Mr. Smith. That's what most of my clients call themselves.
Well, we see, we're both named Jones. We're related. I'm Barnaby Jones. He's Jedediah. And I understand that we have a $100 misunderstanding.
Oh, come on. That's the going rate.
Yeah, I don't mind paying the going rate for some information.
What kind of information?
About your ex-roommate, Marie.
You two fuzz or something?
Private. We're looking into her death.
Well, I moved out on Marie about 2 months ago. I don't know anything else except what I see on the tube.
That apartment where you and Marie lived is rather an expensive apartment. Now, when Marie provided her half of the rent, did she get that from the same line of work?
You ever hear the word ethics? In my line of business, it means you keep your mouth shut. And you keep that 100.
Maybe Mr. T will give us the information.
You know about him?
Wait a minute, who's Mr. T?
Jedediah is new in town. You see, in these parts, when girls like Suzanne and Marie want to operate, they can only do it through Mr. T's stable, or they don't operate, right?
If you know Mr. T, then you know how rough he can make it on girls stalking out of school.
Marie is dead. Somebody tried to push her off a cliff, and then later somebody pulled the plug on the machine that was keeping her alive. That adds up to murder. Now, did she or didn't she work for him?
Well, yes, up until a few weeks ago. And then she quit.
Why had Mr. T like that?
He doesn't like people walking out on him. Like I told you, he can make it pretty rough. That's all I'm saying. Goodbye.
Man, they figure a guy can get all this talent under one roof, huh?
Well, maybe you ought to circulate among the congregation and find out.
I'm sorry, Mr. McClintock, but Mr. T says he doesn't know you.
Well, I'll just have to step over and remind him.
Like I told the maid, I don't know no McClintock from Dallas.
Oh, they're good enough to get me through the front door. From now on, I'll just be Barnaby Jones, private investigator.
Yeah, one that's been asking around about that dame that got snuffed by his sister.
Marie Holcomb. I understand she used to do a lot of her sunbathing around here.
If you mean, did she work for me? No. Hung around, nibbled around the edges, that's all.
The way I heard it, she was one of your #1 girl, and you got pretty hot at her when she quit.
Whoever said that, you bring him here, let him say it to my face.
Well, I have the impression they might be afraid they'd be roughed up or maybe even shoved off a cliff the way Marie was.
Beat it, Jonesy. I'm a very busy man.
Maybe you need a long vacation. I'll see what I can do for you.
Watch the pool on the way out.
Hey.
You know what? Miss Dreamboat over there says she knew Marie when they first started out modeling, and guess who?
Freddie Fairfield.
Right. And when I asked her how many other careers Fairfield launched around here, she just clammed up.
Hello? Listen to me, you crumb. If I take heat, I ain't taking it alone.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Don't play games, sucker. Barnaby Jones was just here.
You think I put him on to you?
Nobody else would have the guts to try to tie me to Marie.
I didn't do it, I swear.
Hear me, pal, hear me good. If I go down, I don't go down alone.
Just some household bills and some personal mail dating back a few years. Nothing to indicate who she saw or what she was doing those last few days.
Well, what she was doing is no longer a mystery anyway.
Barnaby, how do we tell Sister Terry that Marie was a prostitute?
Well, I think it's far better she learned it from me than by reading it in the newspaper. Call the convent. Tell them I'm coming over.
Oh, she's not there. She went back to Marie's to pack up a few things. And the phone service there's been cut off.
Want to drive you over?
No, thanks. I think it's better that I saw her alone.
I got it. Barnaby Jones' office?
This is Mr. T. I want Jones.
Barnaby just stepped out. You'll have to call back. I'm sorry.
Look, pal, this is important. I got information that's going to save him, and especially me, a lot of aggravation. Like I think I know who pulled the plug on Marie Holcomb. So tell me where he is, because it won't wait.
All right. He's on his way to Marie's apartment now, but the phone's been disconnected there.
Marie's place. Okay, I'll catch him there. Tell Jones Mr. T is here.
Mr. Jones isn't here.
Well, then he's on his way. So, come on, open up. Well, honey, I was a friend of Marie's.
I'd rather you wait outside there.
Well, come on, honey, he's on his way over. Why don't you step inside? I won't cause you.
Please.
What are you doing here?
Tenant, you don't seem to believe what I'm saying. What earthly reason would I have to harm this man?
He was a well-known procurer. Your sister worked for him. Now, some people might put that all together and make a pretty good revenge motive out of it.
She worked for that man?
I was hoping you wouldn't have to learn about it like this.
Well, I knew she was headstrong, promiscuous. I guess I just didn't want to believe anything more.
Lieutenant, don't you think Sister Terry's been through enough today?
Yes. All right, you can go now. I'm sorry I'm the one that has to put you through this.
Well, I'll be at the convent if you need me.
Now, you don't really believe that she's capable of murder, do you?
You want my job? Huh? All right, take it. It's yours. I'll go fishing for a change.
Just because the apartment manager saw her at the top of the stairs when Mr. T fell down doesn't prove that she pushed him.
No. And just because she was in her sister's hospital room just a few minutes before Marie stopped breathing doesn't mean she did that either. But it sure raises an itch that needs scratching, as you would say.
Maybe you ought to go away for a while. Go fishing. Might cure your itch.
I'm going to call Barnaby from the manager's office. Sister, don't touch anything.
Well, whoever tore this place up sure wanted something bad.
Someone's still striking out at her.
Question is who? And what did they want?
No use taking inventory now. Except for a couple of personal items. I guess I'll just have the truck from the runaway house come and pick everything up.
Sister, was Marie a great deal taller than you?
About an inch or so. Why?
Where this mirror's hung. Betty, why would a girl hang a mirror 5 or 6 inches higher than she stood?
No reason that I can think of.
It's a two-way mirror.
I think we just struck pay dirt. Hidden camera. A videotape recorder. Empty. The way it was angled, it was aimed right at the bed.
Remote control device.
Blackmail.
I don't think I can handle much more of this.
I'm sorry, sister. Maybe Betty should take you home.
Yes.
No, it's... I want to know.
Betty, you check this for serial number, see if there's a registered owner.
Well, I'm gonna go down and talk to the manager, see if he knows me.
Good idea. And Jedediah, stay close to the manager's phone. I may want to call you. I'm going back over to Mr. T. Have another talk with Suzanne. If this is blackmail, we got a brand new ballgame.
But nobody came in or out last night except tenants.
Nobody else? No suspicious-looking strangers?
Well, I wouldn't call that none or her friend suspicious. They were the first non-tenants here since the police left off guard in the place.
Well, then whoever broke into Miss Holcomb's apartment must have been a tenant.
One of my tenants, a burglar?
Well, obviously an amateur. Can I see a tenant list?
Hey, don't be stingy, huh? They don't give unemployment insurance to us ladies, you know.
Well, this should cover expenses at the new place on the Strip. In a couple of weeks after things cool down, it'll be business as usual under new management.
Freddie Fairfield. Well, I never would have expected to find you here, but then why shouldn't you have an interest in these girls? Some of them used to be Fairfield models, didn't they?
Few of the fallen angels, yes. I read of their predicament and wanted them to know I stand ready to help in any way I can.
That's the kind of charity that covers a multitude of sins, isn't it?
Exactly. Goodbye, Suzanne.
You drop in here often?
Not as often as you.
The possibility arises that Marie's and Mr. T's deaths were mixed up in a blackmail operation. Do you know anything about that?
Sometimes things get a little kinky around here, but that's as far as it goes.
It might clear things up if I knew exactly where Mr. Fairfield fits in around here. I don't mean his supplying girls for Mr. T. It's more serious than that.
You hear that? The only thing I consider serious is when it stops ringing. Hello. It's for you.
Yes.
I traced the serial number of the camera, and I turned up a warranty, and guess who it's registered to? Teletext Computer Company.
Fascinating. The way your sales took that sensational jump 3 months ago. That's just about the time you told me that you loaned the camera to Marie Holcomb, isn't it?
I didn't keep track of the date.
Tell me, does Teletext Computers make a practice of lending their equipment to blackmailers?
And you just hold the phone. I told you that I didn't know what she was going to do with it.
A careful, cautious man like you, and you didn't know. That story's kind of hard to swallow by disinterested folks like Lieutenant Biddle down at police headquarters.
Oh, now, come on. We don't have to bring the police into this.
Knowing Lieutenant Biddle, I can understand your concern. He might even think you were in it with Marie. Why don't we ask him?
No. I mean, okay, but it was Marie's idea. Look, I deal with a lot of out-of-town buyers, and out-of-town buyers, they like to come
get loans.
and they want to have some fun, so I'd send them over to Marie.
And along about morning, she'd tell them they have just become moving picture stars.
Look, Mr. Jones, can we just keep the police out of this, please?
No. But you can make it a lot easier on yourself by demonstrating that you're willing to be cooperative.
How?
By telling me the names of everyone you and Marie shook down.
You have a nice flight now, Mr. Wilson.
Right.
Six shakedowns in 3 months. You and Marie were one busy little pair, weren't you?
You know, Jones, when you really come down to it, who really got hurt by all this? Nobody, because those clients didn't spend 1 red cent of their own money, because when Marie put the pressure on them, they come running to me, and I paid off for them.
Yes, but the payoffs weren't nearly as much as the commissions that you were extracting from your buyers by persuading them to buy 2 and 3 times as much merchandise as their firms needed.
Okay, I'll make a deal with you. I give you the name of the person that I think probably killed Marie and Mr. T. And you keep my name out of it.
I'll put in a good word for you, where it counts. That's all I can promise.
John Kevin Clausen, Colonel, U.S. Air Force Procurement.
Sounds like it could be a federal case.
Wouldn't even make a drop in the defense budget.
Yeah, I know. Nobody hurt but us taxpayers. Why him in particular?
Well, this is the way it comes down. I sign a big contract, I pay off Marie, Marie gives the client the tape. But Marie... Sweet, greedy Marie, she started making extra copies of the tapes.
And she gave the colonel the old double squeeze.
Hey, as a matter of fact, the day before her accident, Clausen called here and said he wasn't going to let her get away with it anymore because if he did, she'd be blackmailing him forever.
Call for you. Thank you.
Barnaby?
Yeah, what do you got?
All right. The police didn't allow any strangers in or out until they were called off this morning, which means that the ransacker was probably one of the tenants.
Find out if one of them is named Colonel John Kevin Clausen.
All right, wait a minute. I got a list right here. No.
You sure?
All right, I got a Jake Rawlson. You think he might be using an alias that sounds like Clausen?
Could be.
Is Rawlson a military man?
Well, he didn't talk much, except he did say something about being stationed in Hawaii.
Clausen from Hawaii?
Used to be head of procurement at Hickam Field, Honolulu.
Sounds like it could be our man.
Terrific. He's gone. Took a cab to the airport a little while ago.
My mother was the same way. Whenever we moved to a new apartment, she felt obligated to leave the old one the way she found it.
Not much of an epitaph for a sister, is it? Come on, have some coffee.
Come in, it's open.
Excuse me, please. The other lady, will she keep the apartment?
What lady?
Miss Marie's friend. If she doesn't, the manager wishes her to return the key.
What's she talking about?
Well, I remember Barnaby saying that Suzanne Montaigne shared the apartment up until a couple of months ago.
Is that the woman Barnaby went to this Mr. Tease to talk to?
The same.
I'm gonna go talk to her.
Please, Sister Terry, it's really not the kind of place you should go to.
I've got to stop burying my head in the sand. If this woman can help me understand why Marie did what she did, well, then maybe I can help my runaway kids from doing the same thing.
All right, let's go.
Someone's got to be here when the truck comes to pick up these boxes. Would you mind?
Are you sure you want to do this? All right, here, take my car.
Thank you.
All right, I'll call you as soon as I get in. Bye.
Here he is, Colonel Clausen.
Oh, what can I... The name's Ralston. I'm afraid you've got the wrong man.
Clausen, Ralston. What name were you using the night Marie fell off the cliff?
Who are you, anyway? I was at the Veterans Hospital for a checkup overnight. It's in the record.
Well, now, being a non-veteran myself, Colonel, I know that a man can easily slip out of a hospital for a couple of hours if he wants to, no?
Or to go through a dead girl's apartment looking for a piece of videotape.
Damn it, if you know that much, you must know that the Air Force is my life. This could stir up a congressional investigation and ruin my whole career if that tape falls into the wrong hands.
What do you mean, if that videotape falls in wrong hands?
Did you find a copy in Marie's apartment?
Well, if I did, I wouldn't be flying home to sit by the phone and wait for her partner to name her price.
Her? A woman?
Well, who is it? What's her name?
Red is the only name Marie called her by.
A redhead. And she was there when you got to the apartment?
Yeah, I got the impression that she lived there or used to.
Well, we certainly know somebody who fits that description.
We sure do.
Sister, the church hasn't taken over the lease on this house, is it?
No, I'm looking for Suzanne Montaigne.
Well, if she's still here, upstairs, second door on the left.
Thank you.
Clausen, that's right. Look, how many Colonel John K. Clausens do you think there are? Look, I'm sick and tired of getting the runaround. Now, I was told he was due back there in Washington 4 days ago. All right. Now, you tell the Colonel for me that the next time I call, he better be in, or else some very interesting tape will turn up in embarrassing places. That's right, videotape. He'll know what I mean. Who the hell are you?
Marie's sister. Those tapes you were talking about, she's in them, isn't she?
Hey, look, everybody's got to be out of here by 2 o'clock.
I knew she couldn't have thought up a blackmail scheme like that by herself. Someone like you would have to put her up to it.
Honey, don't kid yourself. It was her idea all the way. And then when we got ready to really make it pay off, she got cold feet.
I remember now. The hospital. When I went to see Marie before she died, you were in the lobby.
No, I was doing something else. I had a trick that night.
Yes, you were. Why are you lying? You stopped those machines. You killed her.
Oh, you're just like Marie. You don't know when to shut up.
Betty here?
It's her license.
All of a sudden, it's very quiet around here.
take you upstairs.
Barnaby, the pool!
I have to phone for help.
Phone right over here.
She all right? You okay?
I'm okay.
All right. She's fine.
Lieutenant Biddle, please. This is Barnaby Jones. When he comes in, tell him I'm holding a prisoner for him.
Please, don't get up. John?
Agnes Elizabeth.
Thank you, young man. Well, is it all cleared up?
Just about, sister.
Yeah, we're just finishing up on Suzanne Montaigne's statement.
Are the kids at the runaway house waiting for me to start the charity bazaar?
Yes.
Well, there's not much more to tell. When Marie told her she wanted out of the blackmail scheme, Suzanne went wild. They had a fight, and whether she meant to or not, Suzanne pushed Marie over that cliff.
Something still puzzles me, Barnaby. Why did Suzanne kill Mr. T?
Well, apparently, Suzanne overheard a phone call that Mr. T made to me in which he said he thought he knew who killed Marie, and she panicked.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you.
And before we go, Runaway House is raffling off 2 round-trip tickets to the San Diego Zoo. John, I'm certain your associates would be highly pleased if you purchased 1 for each of them. And you, young man, how many would you like?
Oh, well, I would love to spring for one, sister. Really, I would. But I'm overdrawn at the bank, right, Barnaby?
Rest assured, my friend, Barnaby is not to be outmatched by Lieutenant Biddle's generosity toward his staff. Isn't that true, Barnaby?
Of course. How many tickets is Lieutenant Biddle taking?
About 20.
Take about 21.
21.
The sun set slowly over the Pacific Coast Highway, casting long, golden fingers of light across the rugged cliffs of Malibu and onto the warm, tiled courtyard of the apartment complex where the late afternoon breeze always smelled of salty ocean foam and sweet blooming jasmine. Inside the quiet sanctuary of a modest hospital room, the rhythmic, mechanical hum of the life support equipment formed a grim background sound to a silent human tragedy. Sister Terry stood by the bedside, her hands folded tightly in front of her habit, her fingers white from the intensity of her grasp. Her eyes, filled with an unbearable mixture of grief and spiritual anguish, were fixed on the motionless face of her sister, Marie. Dr. Jackson stepped softly into the room, holding a clipboard against his chest like a shield. His face bore the heavy, familiar weight of a professional who had delivered too many heartbreaking verdicts over a long career. Sister Terry turned to him, her voice barely above a whisper. "Murray, can you hear me? Murray, it is Terry." "Oh, sister, I am so sorry, but she never will." "Will she die?" Sister Terry asked, her voice trembling as she searched the doctor's eyes for a tiny ray of hope. "No," Dr. Jackson replied gently, pointing to the monitors. "Her vital signs are stable." "Well, I do not understand," Sister Terry said, stepping closer to the bedside. "You said her tests were promising. You told the reporters that there was a chance." "The final results are in," Dr. Jackson said, looking down at his charts. "The brain damage is irreversible. I am sorry to have to tell you this, but your sister will never come out of this coma." "How long can she live in this kind of limbo?" Sister Terry asked, her hand hovering just above Marie's cold forehead. "On life support systems? Indefinitely? Oh, God, that is terrible. Why do you not let her go?" "They only teach us to prolong life, sister," Dr. Jackson murmured, his tone filled with helpless regret. "All they have taught you to do is to prolong death," Sister Terry said, her voice dropping into a somber register. Hospital policy has taken those decisions out of her hands. If the plug were pulled on that machine, she would die, right? Most likely, Dr. Jackson admitted quietly. Then it is God's will that she die, Sister Terry whispered, looking up toward the ceiling as if seeking guidance from above. I cannot speak for God, Dr. Jackson said, bowing his head. I can only speak for a man. Oh, dear God, Sister Terry prayed softly, resting her palm gently on Marie's unmoving hand. I believe in the sanctity of life. Please forgive me for wanting to make decisions for you. This is all my fault. I know that now. If I could only make it up to you. If I could only make... Sister, I am so terribly sorry. It was all my fault. A day later, the sun shone brightly through the glass windows of the private investigation agency of Barnaby Jones. The office was quiet, smelled faintly of old leather books and freshly brewed coffee, and bore the comfortable, orderly charm of a veteran investigator's retreat. Betty Jones stood near the outer desk, sorting through the morning mail, when a familiar figure in a black and white habit stepped through the front door. "4th floor west," Betty announced with a warm smile, looking toward the inner office. "Barnaby, your favorite nun is here to see you." Barnaby Jones, a silver-haired gentleman with sharp, kind eyes and a relaxed demeanor, walked out to greet her. "Sister Agnes Elizabeth? Did you make the donation?" "Oh, yes, Barnaby?" Sister Agnes Elizabeth paused, taking in the sight of her old friend. "Sister Agnes, how are you?" Barnaby asked, offering a warm, welcoming hand. "I am fine," she replied, beaming at him. "I have not seen you since last month's bingo game. You are looking wonderful." "Well, it is an amazing fact of life, Barnaby," Sister Agnes Elizabeth continued with a twinkle in her eye. "But you get younger every time I see you." "Well, I am sure it is your prayers that are doing it," Barnaby chuckled softly. "Sit down and tell us what brings you here. What can we do for you?" "Well, I will get right to the point," Sister Agnes Elizabeth said, settling into a comfortable leather chair while Betty stood near the desk. "Barnaby, there is a most marvelous woman doing extraordinary work with troubled young girls. Perhaps you have heard of Runaway House?" "Say no more, sister." Barnaby smiled, reaching toward his jacket pocket. "Just tell us how much you need." "Oh, Barnaby, I am not here for money," Sister Agnes Elizabeth said, her expression turning serious. "You must have read about the tragedy involving Marie Holcomb. It has been in all the papers." "Oh, yes," Barnaby recalled, nodding thoughtfully. "The girl in Malibu. Some lifeguards found her at the base of a cliff." "Yes, I think I heard something on the radio this morning," Betty added gently. "She did not make it. Because someone intentionally stopped the life support machine," Sister Agnes Elizabeth explained gravely. "The hospital says it was one of the women in my order." "Good grief," Barnaby exclaimed, his eyebrows rising in disbelief. "They're not accusing a nun of murder, are they?" Sister Terry was Marie Holcomb's natural sister, Sister Agnes Elizabeth clarified. And unfortunately, she was very vocal to Dr. Jackson about what she considers the inhumanity of keeping the girl alive with no hope of recovery. "Have they got anything else?" Barnaby asked, leaning against the wooden edge of the desk. "There is also a nurse who insists Sister Terry was the last person in the room before Marie died," Sister Agnes Elizabeth said. "I, of course, do not believe for 1 minute that she did it. Barnaby, I want you to prove that." At that moment, the door opened, and Sister Terry stepped into the room, her composure fragile yet dignified. "Sister Terry? Please come in," Sister Agnes Elizabeth said softly, beckoning her forward. "This is Barnaby Jones, an old friend." "How do you do?" Sister Terry said quietly. "How do you do?" Barnaby replied warmly. "I am sorry about your sister." "Thank you," Sister Terry murmured. "Barnaby is a private investigator," Sister Agnes Elizabeth explained to her. "I have asked him to try and find out what really happened to Marie." "Please do not bother," Sister Terry sighed, looking down at her hands. "Whoever stopped those machines did her kindness." "I would rather not be drawn into a philosophical debate on that point," Barnaby said gently but firmly. "Nor do I want to see one of my nuns end up in the Huskow." "Oh, that is ridiculous," Sister Terry insisted, looking up. I already told you I did not touch those machines. Terry, you like working with your young runaways, do not you? Sister Agnes Elizabeth asked softly. Well, you know I do, Sister Terry replied. Then do not be obstinate, Sister Agnes Elizabeth advised gently. You see, if the district attorney elects to prosecute, the juvenile authorities may suspend you and relieve you of your duties at Runaway House. And I am very much afraid the church would have to go along, my dear. Sister Terry stood silent for a moment before nodding slowly. All right, where do we start? Why do not we start with the accident that put Marie in the hospital in the first place? Barnaby suggested, stepping closer. Although I understand that the police cannot decide whether it was an accident or whether somebody pushed her. You mean murder? Sister Terry asked softly. Somebody did turn off that machine, Barnaby pointed out rationally. And I am wondering whether it was not somebody who was finishing up what they started in fear that Marie would recover and start pointing the finger. Oh, no. Sister Terry breathed. Did you know any of her friends? Barnaby asked. We went our separate ways, Sister Terry answered, shaking her head. No. Where did she work? Barnaby pressed gently. She said she was going to be a model, Sister Terry remembered. She said she was going to work for Mr. Fairmont or Fairfax, or... Well, that is some place to start, Barnaby said encouragingly. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will have my secretary get right on it. Thank you, Barnaby, Sister Agnes Elizabeth said warmly as she and Sister Terry prepared to leave. A short time later, Barnaby arrived at a bright, Mediterranean-style apartment complex near Beverly Hills. The central courtyard featured lush palm trees and a glittering swimming pool surrounded by colorful lounge chairs. A man in a work shirt was sweeping near the edge of the water. Is there something I can do for you? The man asked, leaning on his broom. I am the manager here. My name is Ralston. You would not happen to have a vacancy? Barnaby asked pleasantly, adjusting his hat against the afternoon sun. Well, I will have a deluxe in a couple of days after it is cleaned, Ralston replied, squinting in the bright sunlight. All I have got right now is one bedroom in the back. Well, I am sure that will do, Barnaby said with a friendly smile. You know, the first time I saw this courtyard from the street out there, it reminded me of the days when I was stationed in Hawaii. Now, if you just had a couple of Hawaiian hula dancers. Over on the other side of the courtyard, near a bustling fashion staging area, a flamboyant man was waving his arms frantically at a stage hand holding rolls of fabric. No, 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 not that, the man shouted. Have you no eye for color? I clearly said the blue. The blue. Barnaby walked over smoothly. Freddie Fairfield? My name is Barnaby Jones. Please, I have no time for buyers before the show, Freddie Fairfield snapped, adjusting his scarf dramatically. Well, I am not a buyer, Barnaby said calmly. I am a private detective. Well, I have no time for them either, Freddie scoffed with a dismissive wave. Tacky profession. Tacky, tacky. All right, dear, carry on over there. I understand that Marie Holcomb used to work for you, Barnaby said, ignoring the dramatic reaction. Marie Holcomb? Freddie paused, his expression shifting slightly. Oh, yes. I understand she moved on to that great fashion show in the sky. Poor dear. Was she supposed to work in this show? Barnaby inquired. Oh, no. Freddie replied quickly. Marie left my employ over a year ago. I had no idea what happened to her until I read about it in the papers. It is all too distressing. I am sorry I cannot be of more help. Excuse me, please. As Freddie strutted away toward the changing tents, a stunning young model stepped up to Barnaby. Barnaby? Barnaby Jones? Rita Carbone, she introduced herself, holding a folder of fashion sketches. How do you do? Barnaby greeted her warmly. She says she lived with Marie Holcomb a while back, Barnaby noted, glancing toward his young associate, Jedediah, who had just strolled up to join them. When is the last time you saw Marie? Jedediah asked Rita directly. A month ago, Rita recalled, wrapping her cardigan tighter around her shoulders. I ran into her coming out of a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Look, we are rehearsing for a show, Rita added nervously, but this is important, Miss Carbone, Barnaby interjected gently. We are trying to get a line on everybody who saw Marie during the last few days of her life. Why do not you ask her fiancé? Rita suggested, glancing around to make sure Freddie Fairfield was out of earshot. He could tell you a lot more than me. What do you mean? Barnaby asked, his interest piqued. She was going to be married? Well, she was dropping a lot of love, cherish, and obey hints while the guy was getting the car out of the parking lot, Rita said. Remember who the guy was? Jedediah asked. Hendricks, I think she said, Rita mused, tapping her chin. Yeah, that is it. Dave Hendricks. And where might I find him? Barnaby asked. All Marie said was that he worked for some large computer company, I think, Rita replied.
But
Rita. Freddie Fairfield's voice echoed across the courtyard. You are keeping everybody waiting. Excuse me, Rita said quickly, turning and trotting back toward the runway setup.
Well, what do you think?
Jedediah asked Barnaby, watching the rehearsals with an appreciative smile. Come on, Barnaby said, patting his young cousin's shoulder playfully. I think you ought to stay and have lunch with the lady. You might be able to dig something up. Well, okay, Jedediah grinned, but I am a little short of cash. The buffet is free, Barnaby pointed out with a dry chuckle. And you are overdrawn at the bank and also in the petty cash drawer. If you find anything vital, give me a call. An hour later, Barnaby walked into the bustling, high-tech headquarters of Teletext Computer Company. Modern circuit boards, glowing displays, and sleek digital instruments were on display throughout the showroom floor. Dave Hendricks, an energetic executive in a tailored suit, hurried out from an inner office to greet him. Mr. Jones, sorry to keep you waiting, Dave Hendricks said warmly, extending a hand. It has been a little hectic around here getting moved into this new office and everything. How are you? Fine, Barnaby replied, shaking his hand. And the way those sales are jumping off the top of the graph there, I would say that you ought to get ready for another move into the president's office. Well, anyway, what are you in the market for? Hendricks asked proudly, gesturing around the room. We have got it all here. Anything from hand calculators to satellite communications instruments. You name it, we have got it. And if we do not have it, I will get it for you. Well, no, Barnaby said smoothly, resting a hand on a display case. I am just an investigator looking into the death of Marie Holcomb. Oh, Dave Hendricks blinked, his sales persona vanishing instantly. Well, what does that have to do with me? Well, let me understand this, Barnaby said, watching the man's eyes closely. You were going to marry her. Marry Marie? Hendricks laughed nervously. That is what she told a friend of hers. Well, how could I, Mr. Jones? You see, I am already married. Very happily so. Any idea why she would have lied about a thing like this? Barnaby asked gently. No, Hendricks replied, shaking his head. Except, for a while, my wife and I were separated when I was running around with Marie. She might have taken too much for granted. Could she have gotten the impression that you were going to get a divorce? Barnaby pressed. No, that subject was never mentioned, Hendricks said firmly, leaning closer. You see, my boss, Mr. Jones, is a very conservative man. Divorce, for me, would be unthinkable. Barnaby glanced at a framed photograph on Hendricks' desk showing a smiling couple on a sailboat. Very pretty lady, Barnaby remarked. Smooth sailing to you both. It already is, Hendricks said, relaxing slightly. As a matter of fact, these last 6 weeks have been the happiest of our marriage. 6 weeks? Barnaby asked quietly. You were seen in Beverly Hills with Marie a month ago. Hey, I might have been seen with her, but it was not a date or anything, Hendricks insisted defensively. I bumped into her. I bought her a drink for old time's sake. That is all. Nothing to it. Well, are you sure that there was nothing to it as far as she was concerned? Barnaby inquired. Jones, look, Hendricks said, his voice dropping. Marie and I had a thing for a while, but when it was over, it was over. Now, she might have. Well, what is the difference now, anyway? None, Barnaby said coolly. Unless it turns out that she posed a threat to your future. In which case, there are people who might feel that you had a motive for doing something foolish. I did not kill Marie, Hendricks said sharply. That none did. That is what a lot of people think, Barnaby said softly, putting on his hat. Well, goodbye, Mr. Hendricks. I will be seeing you. Meanwhile, back at the poolside lodge, A shaded cabana served as an informal lounge for local nightlife figures. A man known around town as Mr. T sat at a corner table, sipping a dark beverage while listening to music. Freddie Fairfield walked up to his table, looking anxious. "Mr. T, over there," Freddie greeted him softly. "Hi, Freddie," Mr. T said with a lazy smile. "I got a trick you have not met yet. Half sake, half champagne. She will knock you out. Valley Hills Motor Lodge. She will be right over. Don't forget, honey, you are booked for tonight, so do not make a romance out of it," Freddie warned, sitting down opposite him. "Hey, are you slumming or just looking in to see how your charm school graduates are doing?" Mr. T chuckled. "Do not be facetious," Freddie snapped in a low whisper. "We have got trouble. You ever hear of Barnaby Jones?" "Sounds like an off-brand whiskey," Mr. T shrugged. "He is a private detective digging into Marie Holcomb's death," Freddie explained nervously. "Does she know anything about our business arrangement?" Mr. T asked, his tone hardening slightly. "I do not think so," Freddie admitted. "Well, then relax," Mr. T advised smoothly. "Do not buy trouble." "How can I?" Freddie urged, leaning across the table. "I run a legitimate business. If it gets out that I am also supplying you with girls, that kind of publicity would ruin me." "Stay cool, man," Mr. T said, patting the table calmly. "If Jones gets too close, I will take care of him."
"Count on it."
"You better," Freddie muttered nervously. "Because you will find yourself in the gutter with me if Jones ever connects on the fact that our nun sister was one of your best hookers." Out by the poolside, Jedediah was strolling along the tiled perimeter with Rita Carbone. "He will find us," Rita was saying, glancing nervously over her shoulder, "and here is a very good spot. If Freddie catches us when he gets back, you will throw a fit." What are you worried about?" Jedediah asked with an easy charm. "A beautiful girl like you? Got a modeling job anywhere, huh?" "Not if Freddie Fairfield bum-raps you around town," Rita said darkly. "He has done it before." "You mean like Marie, for instance?" Jedediah asked smoothly. "Is that why she quit modeling after she left Fairfield stable?" "You know, I did not expect this was love at first sight," Rita sighed, pausing near a decorative palm. "But it can be the start of something really groovy if you will just stop asking me about Marie." "What is it? What is the matter?" Jedediah asked gently. "Why does talking about her make you so uptight?" "Mama's waiting," Rita murmured, looking away. "Look, I had better get back. Showtime is in 10 minutes. Look, did you know that Marie had a sister?" Jedediah asked softly. "Yeah," Rita nodded. "But a nun? A saint and a sinner. Boy, somebody could write a book." "What do you mean, a sinner?" Jedediah pressed. "What, you mean she had her share of trouble?" "Honest, JR," Rita pleaded, her eyes wide with real concern. "Freddie would come down real hard on me if he knew I was blabbing about his models past or present." "Look," Jedediah said earnestly. "Now, Marie's sister is doing a lot of good for runaway kids. And I know you would not feel very good about yourself if you let all that come to a grinding halt. If you say I helped you in any way," Rita began reluctantly. "The Scout's honor," Jedediah promised, raising his right hand with a warm smile. "Try Susan Montaigne," Rita blurted out quietly. "She moved in with Marie after me." "All right," Jedediah said, taking out a small notepad. "Where do I find Susan Montaigne?" "Here," Rita said, scribbling a phone number on a piece of paper and pressing it into his hand. "Call this number. If you have the price, she will find you." 20 minutes later, Jedediah met Barnaby at a quiet coffee shop downtown. "Got your message," Barnaby said as he sat down at the booth. "You said you got a hot date." "Yeah, I did not mean to put it that way," Jedediah explained with a grin, "but Marie's ex-roommate, after she moved out on Rita, I called and made an appointment for 2:30. "Well, it is 2:30 now," Barnaby noted, checking his pocket watch. "Had not we better go?" No, we're going to meet her here," Jedediah said. "Here?" Barnaby asked, raising an eyebrow. "Dead or alive, huh? I do not think you are aware that your expense account is bursting at the seams." "Yeah, well, I meant to talk to you about that," Jedediah admitted sheepishly, "but this is going to cost about $100. $100? Barnaby echoed. "Yeah, it is what they call the going rate," Jedediah said. "Going rate for what?" Barnaby asked with a dry smile. "Come on. You know what I am talking about. You know. Before Jedediah could elaborate, an attractive, impeccably dressed woman strolled up to their booth and slid into the seat opposite them. "Hi, fellas," she said smoothly. "I am Suzanne." "How do you do?" Barnaby greeted her cordially.
Suzanne?
Jedediah acknowledged. "Well, which one is Mr. Jones?" "He is," Jedediah pointed to Barnaby. "Look, I am," Barnaby corrected warmly. "We both are." "Oh, come on now," Suzanne laughed softly. "It would be easier if one of you was Mr. Smith. That is what most of my clients call themselves." "Well, you see, we are both named Jones," Barnaby explained patiently. "We are related. I am Barnaby Jones. He is Jedediah. And I understand that we have a $100 misunderstanding." "Oh, come on," Suzanne smiled. "That is the going rate." "Yeah, and I do not mind paying the going rate for some information," Barnaby said smoothly, resting his arms on the table. "What kind of information?" Suzanne asked, her posture stiffening slightly. "About your ex-roommate, Marie," Barnaby said quietly. "You two fuzz or something?" Suzanne asked, her eyes narrowing. "Private," Barnaby clarified. "We're looking into her death." "Well, I moved out on Marie about 2 months ago," Suzanne said coolly. "I do not know anything else except what I see on the tube. That apartment where you and Marie lived is rather an expensive apartment," Barnaby observed in a conversational tone. "Now, when Marie provided her half of the rent, did she get that from the same line of work?" "You ever hear the word ethics?" Suzanne replied coldly. "In my line of business, it means you keep your mouth shut. And you keep that $100. "Maybe Mr. T will give us the information," Barnaby offered mildly. "You know about him." Suzanne froze for a fraction of a second, her tone sharpening. "Wait a minute. Who is Mr. T?" "Jedediah is new in town," Barnaby explained with a calm, knowing look. "You see, in these parts, when girls like Suzanne and Marie want to operate, they can only do it through Mr. T's stable, or they do not operate, right? If you know Mr. T, then you know how rough he can make it on girls talking out of school," Suzanne said, leaning closer with genuine alarm in her voice.
Marie is dead.
Somebody tried to push her off a cliff, and then later somebody pulled the plug on the machine that was keeping her alive. That adds up to murder. Now, did she or did she not work for him? "Yes, up until a few weeks ago," Suzanne finally admitted in a low voice. "And then she quit." "Why did Mr. T like that?" Barnaby asked. "He does not like people walking out on him," Suzanne warned firmly. "Like I told you, he can make it pretty rough."
That is all I am saying. Goodbye.
Suzanne slid out of the booth and walked briskly toward the exit. "Man," Jedediah shook his head, watching her leave. "They figure a guy can get all this talent under one roof, huh? Well, maybe you ought to circulate among the congregation and find out," Barnaby smiled dryly. A few hours later, Jedediah walked into an exclusive private club where Mr. T was lounging by a lavish indoor pool. As Jedediah approached, a burly security guard stepped in front of him. "I am sorry, Mr. McClintock," the guard said, "but Mr. T says he does not know you." "Well, I will just have to step over and remind him," Jedediah said pleasantly, bypassing the guard with an easy maneuver and walking right up to Mr. T's poolside lounge. "Like I told the maid, I do not know no McClintock from Dallas," Mr. T said, without looking up from his drink. "Oh, they are good enough to get me through the front door," Jedediah smiled, taking a seat nearby. "From now on, I will just be Barnaby Jones' private investigator." "Yeah," Mr. T grunted, turning to look at him. "One that has been asking around about that dame that got snuffed by her sister. Marie Holcomb," Jedediah specified clearly. "I understand she used to do a lot of her sunbathing around here." "If you mean, did she work for me?" "No," Mr. T said firmly, waving a hand dismissively. "Hung around, nibbled around the edges, that is all." "The way I heard it, she was one of your #1 girls," Jedediah countered, "and you got pretty hot at her when she quit." "Whoever said that, you bring him here. Let him say it to my face," Mr. T growled, leaning forward angrily. "Well, I have the impression they might be afraid they would be roughed up or maybe even shoved off a cliff the way Marie was," Jedediah said calmly. "Beat it, Jonesy," Mr. T snapped, putting down his glass. "I am a very busy man. Maybe you need a long vacation. I will see what I can do for you. Watch the pool on the way out." Jedediah stood up with a polite nod and walked back out toward the entrance, meeting Barnaby, who was waiting near the terrace. "Hey, you know what?" Jedediah told Barnaby as they walked toward their car. "Miss Dreamboat over there says she knew Marie when they first started out modeling. And guess who? Freddie Fairfield." "Right." Barnaby nodded thoughtfully. "And when I asked her how many other careers Fairfield launched around here, she just clammed up," Jedediah added. Meanwhile, inside his private office at the club, Mr. T was furiously dialing a telephone number. "Hello?" A nervous voice answered on the other end. "Listen to me, you crumb." Mr. T barked into the receiver. "If I take heat, I am not taking it alone." "Hey, wait a minute." Freddie Fairfield's voice stuttered over the line. "What are you talking about?" "Do not play games, sucker," Mr. T snarled. "Barnaby Jones was just here. You think I put him onto you? Nobody else would have the guts to try to tie me to Marie." Freddie cried defensively. "I did not do it, I swear." "Hear me, pal, hear me good," Mr. T said, his voice cold as ice. "If I go down, I do not go down alone." Mr. T slammed the receiver down and grabbed his jacket, storming out toward his private car. Later that afternoon, Barnaby and Betty were going through a box of Marie Holcomb's personal belongings inside the main office of the Barnaby Jones Detective Agency. "Just some household bills and some personal mail dating back a few years," Betty remarked, sorting through paper folders. Nothing to indicate who she saw or what she was doing those last few days. "Well, what she was doing is no longer a mystery anyway," Barnaby observed softly, looking out the window. "Barnaby, how do we tell Sister Terry that Marie was a prostitute?" Betty asked gently, her tone filled with compassion. "Well, I think it is far better she learned it from me than by reading it in the newspaper," Barnaby sighed. "Call the convent. Tell them I am coming over." "Oh, she is not there." Betty checked her notepad. She went back to Marie's to pack up a few things. "And the phone service there has been cut off. Want me to drive you over?" Jedediah offered, stepping into the inner office. "No, thanks," Barnaby said, picking up his hat. "I think it is better that I see her alone." Barnaby headed out to his car. A few minutes after he left, the office phone rang loudly. Betty picked it up immediately. "Barnaby Jones' office." Betty answered professional. "This is Mr. T," a breathless voice rasped over the line. "I want Jones." Barnaby just stepped out," Betty explained. "You left a call back." "I am sorry." "Look, pal, this is important," Mr. T urged urgently over the crackling receiver. "I got information that is going to save him, and especially me, a lot of aggravation. Like, I think I know who pulled the plug on Marie Holcomb. So tell me where he is, because it will not wait." "All right," Betty decided quickly. "He is on his way to Marie's apartment now, but the phone has been disconnected there." "Marie's place," Mr. T repeated. "Okay, I will catch him there." At Marie Holcomb's apartment, Sister Terry was quietly placing books and personal mementos into cardboard shipping boxes. The apartment was silent until heavy footsteps echoed outside the corridor door, followed by a frantic knock. "Yes," Sister Terry called out, moving toward the entryway. "Tell Jones Mr. T is here." The voice shouted from the hallway. "Mr. Jones is not here," Sister Terry said through the door. "Well, then he is on his way," Mr. T insisted, knocking louder. "So come on, open up." Sister Terry opened the door slightly, looking at the rough-looking man standing on the threshold. "Well, honey, I was a friend of Marie's," Mr. T said, pushing his way into the doorway. I would rather you wait outside there," Sister Terry said firmly. "Come on, honey. He is on his way," Mr. T said, stepping fully into the living room. "I will let you step inside. It will not cost you. Please." Before Sister Terry could reply, a sudden commotion broke out in the hallway. Seconds later, a loud struggle ensued, culminating in a heavy crash near the top of the stairwell. When Police Lieutenant Biddle arrived at the scene 20 minutes later, Mr. T lay motionless at the bottom of the stairs, and Sister Terry was standing near the doorway in deep shock. Barnaby arrived shortly after the police officers had established a perimeter. Lieutenant Biddle turned to Sister Terry with a stern expression. "What are you doing here? Lieutenants, you do not seem to believe what I am saying. What earthly reason would I have to harm this man?" Sister Terry asked softly, her hands trembling. He was a well-known procurer, Lieutenant Biddle stated plainly. Your sister worked for him. Now, some people might put that all together and make a pretty good revenge motive out of it. She worked for that man? Sister Terry gasped, turning pale as she looked toward Barnaby. I was hoping you would not have to learn about it like this, Barnaby said gently, stepping beside her. Well, I knew she was headstrong. Promiscuous, Sister Terry murmured softly, bowing her head. I guess I just did not want to believe anything more. Lieutenant, do not you think Sister Terry has been through enough today? Barnaby asked Biddle firmly. Yes, Biddle sighed, waving a hand to his officers. All right, you can go now. I am sorry I am the one that has to put you through this. Well, I will be at the convent if you need me, Sister Terry whispered, looking up at Barnaby before stepping carefully past the police line. Now, you do not really believe that she is capable of murder, do you? Barnaby asked Lieutenant Biddle once she was gone. You want my job? Biddle grunted, leaning on the stair railing. Huh. All right, take it. It is yours. I will go fishing for a change. Just because the apartment manager saw her at the top of the stairs and Mr. T fell down does not prove that she pushed him. No, Barnaby agreed calmly. And just because she was in her sister's hospital room just a few minutes before Marie stopped breathing does not mean she did that either, Biddle pointed out. But it sure raises an itch that needs scratching, as you would say. Maybe you ought to go away for a while, Barnaby suggested with a gentle grin. Go fishing. Might cure your itch. Barnaby walked inside Marie's ransacked apartment, where Betty and Jedediah were already examining the overturned furniture and strewn papers. I am going to call Barnaby from the manager's office, Jedediah noted, stepping back out. Sister, do not touch anything, Barnaby cautioned as Sister Terry returned briefly with a box. Well, whoever tore this place up sure wanted something bad. Someone is still striking out at him. The question is who, and what did they want? They are used to taking inventory now, Betty remarked, looking around the cluttered room. Except for a couple of personal items. I guess I will just have the truck from the runaway house come and pick everything up. Sister, was Marie a great deal taller than you? Barnaby asked suddenly, stopping in front of a heavy ornate mirror hanging near the bedroom hallway. About an inch or so, Sister Terry replied, puzzled.
Why?
The way this mirror is hung, Barnaby mused, adjusting his glasses. Betty, why would a girl hang a mirror 5 or 6 inches higher than she stood? No reason that I can think of, Betty answered, walking over to inspect it. It is a two-way mirror, Barnaby declared, carefully easing the frame away from the wall. I think we just struck pay dirt. Behind the glass stood a hidden compartment containing bracket mounts and electronic cables. Hidden camera, Barnaby observed, peering closely inside. And a videotape recorder. Empty. The angle was positioned right at the bed. Remote control device. Blackmail, Betty whispered, shocked. I do not think I can handle much more of this, Sister Terry said faintly, covering her face. I am sorry, sister, Barnaby said gently. Maybe Betty should take you home. Yes, Sister Terry nodded softly. No, it is. I want to know. Betty, can you check this for a serial number and see if there's a registered owner? Barnaby asked, handing her a small component tag. Well, I am going to go down and talk to the manager, see if he knows anything, Barnaby added. Good idea. Jedediah, stay close to the manager's phone. I may want to call you. I am going back over to Mr. T's to have another talk with Suzanne. If this is blackmail, we have got a brand new ballgame. Barnaby went down to the courtyard where Ralston, the building manager, was rearranging patio chairs. But nobody came in or out last night except tenants, Ralston insisted when Barnaby questioned him. Nobody else? Barnaby pressed. No suspicious-looking strangers? Well, I would not call that nun or a friend suspicious, Ralston shrugged. They were the first non-tenants here, since the police left off guarding the place. Well, then whoever broke into Miss Holcomb's apartment must have been a tenant, Barnaby concluded thoughtfully. One of my tenants? A burglar? Ralston gasped. Well, obviously an amateur, Barnaby said. Can I see a tenant list? Meanwhile, at Mr. T's club, Suzanne was packing a suitcase inside her dressing room. Freddie Fairfield was standing near the door, handing her a stack of bills. Hey, do not be stingy, huh? Susan smiled, counting the cash. They do not give unemployment insurance to us ladies, you know. Well, that should cover expenses at the new place on the strip, Freddie replied smoothly, adjusting his lapels. In a couple of weeks after things cool down, it will be business as usual. Under new management. Freddie Fairfield, Barnaby's voice broke in as he stepped through the open doorway. Well, I never would have expected to find you here. But then, why should not you have an interest in these girls? Some of them used to be Fairfield models, did not they? A few of the fallen angels. Yes, Freddie said smoothly, putting on a compassionate expression. I read of their predicament and wanted them to know I stand ready to help in any way I can. That is the kind of charity that covers a multitude of sins, is not it? Barnaby remarked with a dry smile. Exactly, Freddie nodded briskly.
Goodbye, Suzanne.
Barnaby turned to Suzanne as Freddie bustled out. You drop in here often? Not as often as you, Suzanne replied coolly, zipping her bag shut. The possibility arises that Marie's and Mr. T's deaths were mixed up in a blackmail operation, Barnaby said softly, leaning against the doorframe. You know anything about that? Sometimes things get a little kinky around here, but that is as far as it goes, Suzanne answered evasively. It might clear things up if I knew exactly where Mr. Fairfield fits in around here, Barnaby continued calmly. I do not mean his supplying girls for Mr. T.
It is more serious than that.
You hear that? Susan laughed bitterly as the dressing room telephone began to ring. The only thing I consider serious is when it stops ringing. She picked up the receiver and listened for a moment. It is for you, she said, handing it to Barnaby. Yes, Barnaby spoke into the receiver. I traced the serial number of the camera. Betty's voice came through clearly from the agency desk. I turned up a warranty, and guess who it is registered to? Teletext Computer Company. Fascinating, Barnaby murmured, his eyes locking onto Suzanne's defensive expression. 20 minutes later, Barnaby walked back into Dave Hendricks' corporate office at Teletext. Hendricks was pacing nervously behind his mahogany desk. The way your sales took that sensational jump 3 months ago, Barnaby noted, taking a seat opposite him. That is just about the time you told me that you loaned the camera to Marie Holcomb, is not it? I did not keep track of the date, Hendricks stammered, pulling at his collar. Tell me, does Teletext Computers make a practice of lending their equipment to blackmailers? Barnaby asked quietly. You just hold the phone, Hendricks pleaded, waving his hands defensively. I told you that I did not know what she was going to do with it. A careful, cautious man like you, and you did not know? Barnaby said dryly. That story is kind of hard to swallow by disinterested folks like Lieutenant Biddle down at police headquarters. Oh, now, come on, Hendricks gasped. We do not have to bring the police into this. Knowing Lieutenant Biddle, I can understand your concern, Barnaby remarked calmly. He might even think you were in it with Marie. Why do not we ask him? No, Hendricks blurted out, shaking his head rapidly. I mean, okay, but it was Marie's idea. Look, I deal with a lot of out-of-town buyers, and out-of-town buyers, they like to come and they get loans. And they want to have some fun, so I would send them over to Marie. And along about morning, she would tell them they have just become moving picture stars. Look, Mr. Jones, can we just keep the police out of this, please? No, Barnaby said firmly. But you can make it a lot easier on yourself by demonstrating that you are willing to be cooperative.
How?
Hendricks asked faintly. By telling me the names of everyone you and Marie shook down, Barnaby demanded evenly. Hendricks pulled a small leather notebook from his desk drawer and began reading off names and figures. You have a nice flight now, Mr. Olson, Hendricks muttered under his breath, closing the notebook. 6 shakedowns in 3 months, Barnaby calculated softly. You and Marie were one busy little pair, were not you? You know, Jones, when you really come down to it, who really got hurt by all this? Hendricks argued defensively. Nobody. Because those clients did not spend 1 red cent of their own money. Because when Marie put the pressure on them, they would come running to me, and I paid off for them. Yes, but the payoffs were not nearly as much as the commissions that you were extracting from your buyers, Barnaby pointed out sternly, by persuading them to buy 2 and 3 times as much merchandise as their firms needed. I cannot make a deal with you, Hendricks pleaded. I give you the name of the person that I think probably killed Marie and Mr. T, and you keep my name out of it. I will put in a good word for you where it counts, Barnaby offered calmly. That is all I can promise. John Kevin Klassen, Hendricks revealed in a whisper. Colonel, United States Air Force Procurement. Sounds like it could be a federal case, Barnaby noted. Would not even make a drop in the defense budget, Hendricks scoffed mildly. I know. Nobody hurt but us taxpayers, Barnaby remarked dryly. Why him in particular? Well, this is the way it comes down, Hendricks explained. I sign a big contract, I pay off Marie. Marie gives the client the tape. But Marie, sweet, greedy Marie, she started making extra copies of the tapes. And she gave the colonel the old double squeeze. As a matter of fact, the day before her accident, Klassen called here and said he was not going to let her get away with it anymore, because if he did, she would be blackmailing him forever. Just then, the phone on Hendricks' desk buzzed. Call for you, Hendricks said, handing the receiver to Barnaby. Barnaby? Jedediah's voice crackled through. Yeah, what do you got? Barnaby asked. All right. The police did not allow any strangers in or out until they were called off this morning, Jedediah reported from the apartment complex phone booth, which means that the ransacker was probably one of the tenants. Find out if one of them is named Colonel John Kevin Klassen, Barnaby instructed. All right, wait a minute, I got a list right here, Jedediah said, scanning his paper.
No.
You sure? Barnaby asked. All right, I got a Jake Ralston, Jedediah offered. You think he might be using an alias that sounds like Klassen? Could be. Barnaby mused. Is Ralston a military man? Well, he did not talk much, except he did say something about being stationed in Hawaii, Jedediah recalled. Klassen from Hawaii? Barnaby thought out loud. Used to be head of procurement at Hickam Field, Lula? Sounds like it could be our man. Terrific. He is gone, Jedediah added suddenly, looking across the courtyard. Took a cab to the airport a little while ago. Back at Marie's apartment, Sister Terry was clearing off the kitchen counter while Betty folded cardboard flaps on a storage box. My mother was the same way, Sister Terry said with a gentle smile. Whenever we moved to a new apartment, she felt obligated to leave the old one the way she found it. Not much of an epitaph for a sister, is it? Come on, have some coffee. Come in. It is open, Sister Terry called out as a soft knock sounded at the open doorway. Ralston, the building manager, stepped inside holding a ring of keys. Excuse me, please. The other lady, would she keep the apartment? What lady? Betty asked, turning around. Miss Marie's friend, Ralston explained. If she does not, the manager wishes her to return the key.
What is she talking about?
Sister Terry asked, looking at Betty. Well, I remember Barnaby saying that Suzanne Montaigne shared the apartment up until a couple of months ago, Betty recalled thoughtfully. Is that the woman Barnaby went to this Mr. Tease to talk to? Sister Terry asked. The same, Betty confirmed. I am going to go talk to her, Sister Terry decided resolutely, setting down her coffee cup. Please, Sister Terry, it is really not the kind of place you should go to, Betty urged gently. I've got to stop burying my head in the sand, Sister Terry said firmly, her voice filled with conviction. If this woman can help me understand why Marie did what she did, well then maybe I can help my runaway kids from doing the same thing. All right, let us go, Betty relented softly. Someone has got to be here when the truck comes to pick up these boxes. Would you mind? Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, Sister Terry nodded. All right, here, take my car, Betty offered, handing her the set of keys. Thank you, Sister Terry said warmly. All right, I will call you as soon as I get in, Betty added as Sister Terry headed out the door.
Bye.
Over at the Los Angeles International Airport terminal, Barnaby spotted Colonel Klassen near a boarding gate, holding a small duffel bag. There he is, Colonel Klassen, Barnaby called out, striding across the concourse. Oh, what can I? The name is Ralston, the man said, turning around defensively. I am afraid you have got the wrong man. Klassen Ralston, Barnaby said smoothly, stopping right in front of him. What name were you using the night Marie fell off the cliff? Who are you, anyway? Klassen demanded nervously. I was at the Veterans Hospital for a checkup. Overnight. It is in the record. Well, now, being a non-veteran myself, Colonel, Barnaby observed with a calm, penetrating gaze, I know that a man can easily slip out of a hospital for a couple of hours if he wants to, Bednar. Or to go through a dead girl's apartment looking for a piece of videotape. Damn it, if you know that much, you must know that the Air Force is my life. Klassen pleaded in a low, panicked whisper. This could stir up a congressional investigation and ruin my whole career if that tape falls into the wrong hands. What do you mean if that videotape falls into the wrong hands? Barnaby asked sharply. Did you find a copy in Marie's apartment? Well, if I did, I would not be flying home to sit by the phone and wait for her partner to name her price. Klassen spat out bitterly. Her? A woman? Barnaby pressed. Well, who is it? What is her name? Red is the only name Marie called her by, Klassen revealed, looking around nervously. A redhead. And she was there when you got to the apartment? Barnaby asked. Yeah, I got the impression that she lived there, or used to, Klassen said. Well, we certainly know somebody who fits that description, Barnaby said, his eyes lighting up with sudden realization. We sure do. At Mr. T's club lounge, Sister Terry walked up the central staircase toward the upper dressing rooms. Sister, a club attendant called out in surprise. The church is not taking over the lease on this house, is it? No, Sister Terry answered politely. I am looking for Susan Montaigne. Well, if she is still here, upstairs, second door on the left, the attendant offered, pointing down the corridor. Thank you, Sister Terry said, walking toward the room. Inside the dressing room, Suzanne was pacing near the telephone, her red hair catching the light. Klassen, she muttered into the receiver, that is right. Look, how many Colonel John K. Klassens do you think there are? Look, I am sick and tired of getting the runaround. Now, I was told he was due back there in Washington 4 days ago. All right. Now, you tell the Colonel for me that the next time I call, he better be in. Or else some very interesting tape will turn up in embarrassing places. That is right, videotape. He will know what I mean. She slammed the receiver down and turned toward the door, gasping as she saw Sister Terry standing quietly in the doorway. Who the hell are you? Marie's sister, Sister Terry answered softly, stepping inside. Those tapes you were talking about, she is in them, is not she? Hey, look, everybody has got to be out of here by 2 o'clock, Suzanne said coldly, grabbing her purse. I knew she could not have thought up a blackmail scheme like that by herself, Sister Terry said, her eyes fixed on Suzanne. Someone like you would have to put her up to it. You do not kid yourself, Suzanne sneered dismissively. It was her idea all the way. And then when we got ready to really make it pay off, she got cold feet. I remember now, Sister Terry said, her memory sharpening as she stared at Suzanne's bright red hair. The hospital. When I went to see Marie before she died. You were in the lobby. No, I was doing something else, Suzanne lied quickly, backing toward the vanity table. I had a trick that night. Yes, you were, Sister Terry insisted, stepping closer. Why are you lying? You stopped those machines. You killed her. Oh, you are just like Marie. Susan spat out, her tone dropping into a dangerous, desperate growl. You do not know when to shut up. Outside the club building, Barnaby's car screeched to a halt near the entrance. Barnaby and Jedediah jumped out, racing toward the doors. It is her license, Jedediah noted, pointing to Betty's car parked in the driveway. All of a sudden, it is very quiet around here, Barnaby observed, stepping into the empty foyer. You take the upstairs. Barnaby, the pool. Barnaby rushed toward the back corridor while Jedediah bounded up the central stairs. Inside the dressing room, a sharp struggle was taking place as Susan lunged at Sister Terry, grabbing a heavy brass paperweight from the desk. Drop it, Jedediah shouted, bursting through the door and disarming Suzanne in a swift motion, wrestling her arms behind her back. Barnaby hurried into the room seconds later, taking in the scene instantly. Is she all right? Are you okay? I am okay, Sister Terry gasped, resting her hands on her chest as she recovered her breath. She is fine. Barnaby reached for the desk telephone and dialed a familiar number. Lieutenant Biddle, please. This is Barnaby Jones. When he comes in, tell him I am holding a prisoner for him. An hour later, the warm afternoon sun bathed the bright courtyard of the Runaway House Community Center. Colorful banners and paper streamers decorated the booths set up for the annual charity bazaar. Lieutenant Biddle, Barnaby, Jedediah, and Sister Agnes Elizabeth stood near the central table, enjoying punch and pastries. Please, please do not get up, Sister Agnes Elizabeth smiled as Lieutenant Biddle gestured toward a chair. John? Agnes Elizabeth. Thank you, young man. Well, is it all cleared up? Lieutenant Biddle asked, taking a sip from his paper cup. Just about, sister, Barnaby confirmed warmly. Yeah. We're just finishing up on Suzanne Montaigne's statement. Are the kids at the runaway house waiting for me to start the charity bazaar? Sister Terry asked, walking up to join the group with a renewed sense of peace on her face. Yes, Sister Agnes Elizabeth nodded warmly. Well, there is not much more to tell. When Marie told her she wanted out of the blackmail scheme, Suzanne went wild. They had a fight, and whether she meant to or not, Suzanne pushed Marie over that cliff. Something still puzzles me, Barnaby, Jedediah admitted, leaning against the table counter. Why did Suzanne kill Mr. T? Well, apparently, Suzanne overheard a phone call that Mr. T made to me in which he said he thought he knew who killed Marie, Barnaby explained, and she panicked. Well, I would like to thank all of you, Sister Terry said, her eyes shining with deep gratitude. And before we go, Sister Agnes Elizabeth announced merrily, picking up a stack of colorful raffle books. Runaway House is raffling off 2 round-trip tickets to the San Diego Zoo. John, I am certain your associates would be highly pleased if you purchased one for each of them. Lieutenant Biddle smiled dryly, shaking his head gently. And you, young man, Sister Agnes Elizabeth turned her cheerful gaze to Jedediah. How many would you like? Oh, well, I would love to spring for one, Sister, Jedediah grinned, tapping his pockets. Really, I would, but I am overdrawn at the bank, right, Barnaby? Rest assured, my friend, Sister Agnes Elizabeth chuckled knowingly, turning her bright eyes toward Barnaby. Barnaby is not to be outmatched by Lieutenant Biddle's generosity toward his staff. Is not that true, Barnaby? Of course, Barnaby smiled warmly, reaching into his pocket for his wallet with a hearty laugh. How many tickets is Lieutenant Biddle taking? About 20, Lieutenant Biddle admitted with a small, fond chuckle. I will take about 21, Barnaby said with a twinkle in his eye, handing over the bills as everyone laughed together under the warm California sun.